Soaring on the wings of gratitude. I think Roger Crawford said it very well, and he echoed my thoughts when he said, I celebrate Thanksgiving every day. Folks, we have so much to be thankful for. You just think about it. We have the privilege of this platform, and we're able to use the God-given tools for transforming people's tomorrows in the spirit of service. And then when we go through the gateway of excellence, we have the opportunity of leaving a lasting legacy. I think I got them all in. I don't forget much. Folks, we have so much to be thankful for. And you know what I want to emphasize this morning is the little things in life that sometimes when we're so wrapped up in doing our career, we forget about those things that in the end mean most of all. I got a little song I want you to learn. I'm going to sing it through one time, and then I want you to sing it with me. Listen as I sing, and then you sing it with me. I got so much, 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 so much to be thankful for. I wrote this. Listen. Come on, sing with. Come on. I got so much, so much, so much, so. Some of you aren't singing. The lyrics on this song aren't real tough. Come on. So much, so much, so much, so much, so much, so much, so much to be thankful for. Okay, good. I want you to put hand motions to it. Get your hands together. And then you go, I got so much, 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 so much. And right here, you come back together. Boom. To be thankful for. You got it. Here we go. I got so much, 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 so much. No. Yes. Terry, they didn't do so well. I tell you what, if you can't get back in time, don't go so far out. That'll help you slow people. Okay. When it's time to clap, Tim, I'll do this. All right, that's your cue right there. Okay, here we go. We can do it. We can do it. Come on. Think. I got so much, 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 so much to be. I knew you could do it. Yeah, I knew you could do it if you just set your mind to it. This song has verses. Every good song has verses. What do we have to be thankful for? Here in NSA, we got each other to be thankful for. I'm going to tell you, my most precious possession is my relationships. Did I say that wrong, Marilyn? Are my relationships. My relationship vertically first and foremost, and then my relationship with my friends who are family and my family who are friends. We've got each other to be thankful for, Robert. Verse goes like this. We've got each other to be thankful for. Did you say a little ripple? Oh. Do your head like that, it'll help. Oh. We've got each other to be thankful for. We've got each other, oh yeah, to be thankful. Two more times, that's all. He'll go, hands. I got so much, so much, so much, so much, so much, so much, so much. Thank you, Patrick. So much, so much, so much to be thankful for. You're on your own this time. I'm not doing that. I got so much, 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 so much to be thankful for, to be thankful for.
Sit back, relax, and let America's musical humorist heal your funny bone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me one of Kentucky's true treasures, George Field.
Well, I figure I better do good today or I'll go to jail.
tomorrow to that wine country thing because that food. Was that good food or what? Boy, I tell you, I enjoyed it. And I enjoy it too much sometimes, Matthew. In fact, I have to watch myself. I know it's time for me to diet. When I push away from the table and it's a table that moves, I know it's time to stop doing what I'm doing. But I came across a brand new diet. You're going to want to tell your friends, your family, because this is a revolutionary diet that really works. And it comes from a reliable source, National Enquirer. They are saying you eat all the second helpings you want, eat third desserts. It doesn't matter as long as you do 3 things every day. At 10 o'clock every morning, you eat 2 cloves of garlic. At noon, you eat a little Limburger cheese with your lunch. And at 2:30, you eat a half of an onion. And you see from a distance, you look smaller. And so it really works. One of the best. Let me hustle on. I tell you what. We have got so much to be thankful for. Everything that we do, I tell you what, we're headed toward victory. I wore my Olympic tie tonight. We're striving toward that victory. And I think we can succeed with ease. Extra effort. You heard it just now. Jeff talked about Carl Yastrzemski. The big difference between a superstar in baseball like Yastrzemski and a Buddy Biancalanco, whoever he was. 1 hit every 10 times at bat. That's the only difference. Superstar gets 3 hits every 10 times at bat. The mediocre ball player gets 2 hits every 10 times. 1 hit every 10 times at bat. But there's a vast difference in the way they're recognized and the way they're paid. I think enthusiasm is another big E that you've got to have if you're going to succeed in life. Enthusiasm. It just says what it is. Enthusiasm. It's a producer of smiles, a producer of confidence. It cries to the world, I got what it takes. It tells people everywhere our job is a swell job. The goods we have are the best. Enthusiasm. If you got it, you should thank God for it. If you don't have it, you should get down on your knees and pray for it. For on the plains of hesitation bleached the bones of countless millions who on the threshold of victory sat down to wait, and waiting they died. Enthusiasm.
I like the man who loved to make money, couldn't spend any of it. His wife was after him again, said, you need to go on a vacation, enjoy your money that you made, and maybe take me. You know, and he said, I'm not going to do it, I don't have time, I'm too busy. She said, well, you can't take it with you. He said, well, I am. She said, what? He said, yeah. He said, I know I'm not going to live much longer. He said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to, in a couple of months, liquidate all my assets, put them in a big sack, and I'm going to put them up in the rafters of that attic in our house. And when I die and God calls me home, I'm going to sweep up through that attic and grab that sack. Well, he owned me and died. The little lady got up enough courage after about 3 days to climb up those steps to the attic to see if that sack was still there. She opened the door. The sack was still there. She said, the old coot, I knew you should have hung it in the cellar.
George brings to the convention is more than just a voice up there talking to a crowd. We can get anybody to do that. George comes from his heart, not only from his words, but his music. You might find George in the hallways just gathering people together who've been serving coffee or breakfast. He gets them to a group and lets them have a little fun, let them feel appreciated. He goes behind the scenes to let people know that they're important to the program as well. Whether George is at the beginning of your program, the middle, or at the end, he puts the whole thing together into some continuity to let them know that the organization cared about them as human beings and people and what they're worth. But what's more than that is when George's time on the platform is over, no matter what he was paid to do, you'll find him in the hallways playing piano at 1 o'clock in the morning, just having fun until they kick you out. You may find him in the hallway talking to the children in the youth program. You'll find him somewhere else in the facility because his job is never over because of what he believes in his heart about caring and working with people. George Fields can put the pizzazz into your program like no other presenter can because of his musical talent, the chords, the words, the feelings in his heart, and what's in George's soul. George Fields is the presenter for your program. You get much more for your dollar because of his caring. Get George.
Discovered in my life that I have the freedom, I have the liberating freedom to succeed in my life. Through my life and the people who have come into my life, they have taught me things that have helped me to understand that I can succeed in whatever I want to do and whatever I seek. And I think we can succeed with ease. I'm not talking EASE. I'm talking about the little E words, the small things that make a big difference. You know, it's the little things that really get to us, the little problems that kind of eat us. It's the mosquitoes that get us. It's not the dinosaurs in our life. It's those little mosquitoes, because dinosaurs don't really exist, do they? Also, it's the little things in our life that really make a big difference. Extra effort is one of those things. Extra effort. It just sometimes takes a little extra effort to make a big difference in your life. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. We have a thing every first Saturday in May called the Kentucky Derby. Now, 2 weeks before that, they have all kind of festival activities leading up to the greatest 2 minutes in sports, the Kentucky Derby. 1978 was the year. The last time we had a Triple Crown winner, Aladar and Affirm, with the two horses going after it. Aladar was the favorite that day. Affirm beat Aladar by a neck. 2 weeks later, the Preakness was run in Baltimore, Maryland. Aladar was again the favorite. Affirm beat Aladar just by a neck this time also. The Belmont 2 weeks later was run. Affirm was finally put forth as the favorite and came off, won by a length. A little win each time by a little margin. But what was it that made Affirm go down as a Triple Crown winner and Aladar go down as a three-time loser? It was a little extra effort that little Stevie Coffin was able to get out of Affirm on those 3 strategic days. In our job, in our work, in our family, sometimes a little extra effort makes a vast difference. My wife came to me one day and said, "George, you're not spending enough time with your daughter." I thought to myself, well, that's ridiculous. I go to her school plays. She does these activities I try to get. She said, "You're not spending enough quality time." I didn't hear that quality. I was spending time. I considered it. I made the little extra effort, a little here, a little there. I could tell a difference between my relationship to my daughter, whom I loved tremendously, and had a blind spot. Somebody showed me that. Long time ago, I tried to learn names at a talk that I did. So Sharon and I started doing it everywhere I went. And I got there, Thomas, and I would learn everybody's name. And so I would come across Allison, and every time that I would talk, I would kind of refer Liddell to people in the audience that I wanted them to know that I cared about them enough, Laura Vines Richardson, that I would be able to say their names if it's a small enough group. And so, Becky, everywhere I'd go, I'd put forth that little extra effort, Linda, so I could learn everybody's name, friend, so I could say, "Carol, you're important in what I was doing." And I like
and say, have a nice day. Come on now. Have a nice day. One time. Have a nice day. Just move it. Have a nice day. Oh, yeah. You can learn from your failures. My grandmother taught me, don't worry, kid. She had a definition for worry. It was the capacity to enjoy crisis before it happens. Wise grandmother. She had another saying too. She said, things turn out best for those who make the best out of the way things turn out. I said, I heard somebody, That's as close to the amen I've ever gotten. Things turn out best for those. Go ahead and write it down. Things turn out best for those who make the best out of the way things turn out. The boy looked up and said, "I know what you've been doing." Be careful of what you tell your children. You can get in big trouble.
Things are confusing too. Doesn't that card tell you that life is confusing sometimes? That's why we need to listen to speakers like you've heard today. Hire them to come speak to your people and help them break through the confusion of life. Because life is confusing. I get confused every once in a while. Coming back from Columbus, Indiana, stopped at a Burger King. There was a sign that said drive-through window. I am not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Mess up your car. You know, I see signs like the maternity ward sign says no children allowed. And on the door in there it says push. Understatement, I'd say, wouldn't you? I mean, in the sign that Larry had, you know, public phone connected directly to our hotel operator. You know, that signs just get me. I love signs. Had a friend go to a service station, said clean restrooms, said it took him 30 minutes to get them completely done. Sign in Lexington, Kentucky right now, Peter. It's a big old sign, and the words on that sign say, learn to read. Who are they advertising to? Huh? Yeah, Drew finally got it. Drew, I knew it. Signs get me. People say strange things. You have flat on the highway, and somebody pull up behind and say, have a flat tire? No, I always rotate my tires out here on the freeway. Am I right? People say the darndest thing. Somebody say, oh, nobody goes to that restaurant anymore. It's too crowded. Gail, I get confused, huh? I get confused. Somebody else be out there fishing, you know. You out there fishing. Louis, you got your boat. You're in the boat, Louis Brand, you're just pulling them in. You got this magical day, and you're catching everything you throw out there. You come back to the dock, and there's somebody waiting there, Christine, saying, did you catch all them fish? You can say, no, I caught the first ones, the other one surrendered. you can always come up with something. You know what I'm saying? My uncle used to songs you grew up with. A lot of times, I will go to a conference or do a banquet for people, and afterwards, if it's a convention, we'll go to the hospitality room, and I'll pull out my old guitar, and we'll sometimes have song sheets like this, and sometimes we'll just sing for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's neat the way groups are pulled together by those informal times. Relationships are built on off times, I believe. And those times are special. Oh, let's just look at maybe number 14. Let me see. Let's look at number 10. You know this one? Another Saturday night, and I ain't got nobody. I got some money, 'cause I just got paid. How I wish I had someone to talk to. I'm in an awful way. Oh. Got in town a month ago, seen a lot of girls since then. If I could meet them, I could get them, but yet I haven't met them. That's why I'm in the shape we got a new group up here called Roy and Ray. Another Saturday night, and I ain't got nobody. Feel like there's something in my throat. I just got paid. Oh, how I wish I had someone to talk to. I'm in an awful way. Hey!
George Fields is the kind of guy that can deliver a message and then go out in the hallway and keep your meeting going. He can keep the enthusiasm flowing. George is the kind of guy that works in between the sessions to make sure that other people on your program are as good as they are. And then when all of that's done, he will be in a room somewhere continuing to perform. You get a lot of bang for your buck with George Fields.